knocking teams out every Sunday. Fire in our eyes, can't stop our drive. Hit so hard, remind you of 85. We the Bears, monsters of the Midway. Knocking teams out every Sunday. Fire in our eyes, can't stop our drive. Hit so hard, remind you of 85.
Take a real Chicago, you can smell it in the air. There's a hungry team called the Soldier Field going nuts, jumping out their chair. Teams rather be anywhere but here. We don't care if it's below zero. Better tougher for the snow, we still gon' break holes. If we win the point flip, we choosing to kick. Cause we got a defense that love to hit. Polarize the league with our smash mouth D's. Slicing up teams like Mike Singletary. Forever repping the seat, making Papa Bear proud. Giving Chicago something to shout about.
We the Bears, monsters of the
And welcome to another episode of the Panda and Grizzly Show. I'm Brian the Grizzly, here with, I guess, Red Panda over there. Tank should be joining us a little later. You know, got family, so we got to take care of that first, always.
Yep.
But, guys, we're another week closer to the draft. Literally, within 3 weeks, we'll know what's going on. Honestly, we already know what's going on pick one, but now we'll know what's going on with the entire draft. And I have a sneaking suspicion that Poles is not done with his dealing, and that we're going to get some more movement in this draft because these four draft picks aren't enough. Just not. Oh, man. So how you feel about it?
I feel okay, I guess, depending where we get for the 9 pick, because I really doubt he's going to trade. I really
he's
doubt he's
definitely
going to
trading
trade
number
him. What's that?
He's definitely not trading number one. We've already so I don't even know if you know this because Eberflus was talking before. He told him that he kind of gave a little bit of our offense that we're going to be running to Caleb for him to memorize. He gave a part of the playbook. You don't get someone part of the playbook if they're not going to be your first round draft pick. Then
Right.
the Bears didn't send a big contingent of people to Carolina for Drake May. Same thing with Jaden Daniels. So everything is, unless they just don't want to do their due diligence, everything's pointing to them actually drafting Caleb Williams. I think this is a foregone conclusion altogether.
Right. Now, yesterday, I got suckered. I got fooled because I heard there was a trade with Bears in Washington, and I was like, they swapped picks, so the Bears will get the number 2 for this year, number 1 for next year, number 1 for the 2026, 27. And then they have a contingency to swap. I'm like, damn, that's a lot. For the number 1 overall, next thing you know, April was like, at that point, I just like, I'm not saying a damn thing anymore for the rest of the day. My family tricked me with Oreos and toothpaste. So I was a big sucker yesterday.
Yeah. Me and Tank saw it. We were like, okay. We believe that. I doubt that anything like that was happening.
Yeah, I got excited. I got super excited.
I mean, there's a lot of posts on Twitter, on Facebook, all about the April Fools that we're going to trade the pick. I was like, guys, this doesn't even make sense at this point. At this point, we know we're drafting a quarterback at number 1. This is just what it is. That's why I want to break down this roster. But before we do that, I do want to talk about the 9th pick.
Right.
Ryan Poles did say this. He said, we have this. This is an interesting fact. The Bears are planning to split their staff into 2 teams to debate on what they should do with the 9th pick. Ryan Poles said, we're going to do something cool when we get back. Kind of break into teams. One team is going to talk about why the tackle position is the best to go after and why the receivers is best to go after. And the defensive ends is best to go after. Give factual information to split that up. And then we'll have a debate in terms of what's more impactful for our football team, short term and long term. So Ryan Poles is really basically getting a high school debate going on. That's what he's doing. He's going to have a debate. You have your debate team. Everyone will be able to make these decisions, speak their piece, why they believe this is going on, and then he will come to the decision. My question to you is, do you think this is a good reason, a good way to do things, or is this a mom and pop type of way, or is it someone that's just young? What do you feel?
I feel this is not a good thing to do things I feel it's a great thing to do things because it's
Okay.
not just his mindset. He has so many things coming in and out of his head. He's constantly thinking. I don't know how this man sleeps, to be honest with you. Now, if you split up the two teams, let's say two teams of 10. So you got 10 on one side, 10 on the other, or three
Or
teams.
three teams really, because you
Right,
got
right,
defensive
or
end,
three.
tackle, and wide receiver.
Right, receiver coaches, receiver running backs, and then offensive linemen, and then defense,
Well,
whatever.
yeah,
But you
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 basically
have
your left tackle, your defensive end, or wide receiver.
right. So you have a master, you have a bunch of minds going all at once, different ideas, different angles, different. Hey, instead of picking this, why don't you go down one, get two picks, and you never know out of the out of the ordinary because now you have 20, 30 different brains clicking it like 10 brains clicking at one position only. So therefore, it alleviates the burden on polls, alleviates the pressure, and it more gives them more options. Like, okay, I never thought of this. This is a great idea. Let's go this route. Or this is a perfect idea. This is a perfect scenario. If the chips fall into place, we go that route. So now he has not just his ideas, not his 4 or 5 ideas. Now he has the ideas of what 20, 30 other people bringing in and saying, "Hey, we have all this. This is why I picked the tackle. This is why this. This is why that. It's going to improve our run game. It's going to improve our passing game. It's going to improve our defense. More sacks, more turnovers. Which you know what I'm saying. So they're different angles, which is great. Which is great. That's why I don't
Okay.
like it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. This is the first time I've ever heard of anything like this from a GM. Oh, not it's my team,
Let
my
me play devil's
responsibility. It's our
advocate
team.
real quick. Devil's advocate. Is it also
Yeah.
a problem that he might have too many ideas? So now, at the end of the day, the buck stops with him. And Brian Post is saying from the beginning, he has a team. He goes through it with his team. He involves everybody, lets everyone speak with their mind, and he makes the final say, which is perfectly fine. But do you worry about there's too much information going in that kind of messes up the idea? So sometimes you need, like in your mind, I need to build this offensive line before I already have two good number one receivers. I already got a running back. I need to really focus on getting my line together. Or Roma Dunze and Malik Neighbors are no brainers if they're there. I have to do that. But now you have everyone speaking to you, and then that could kind of cause you to, too much information overload, and then you can't just make a decision. Do you
No,
worry
I
about
think
that?
it's no, I think it's gonna be a great idea because think about it. If he goes, okay, for you three, let's just say 3 groups, right? Let's play it safe and say 3 groups. If it's 2, 4, whatever. Okay, these are all the trade options. Just pile here. Okay, this is the offensive tackles, receivers, and trade down or what have you. Now you have out of these options, what do you think is best? But not only that, you have to make sure it falls into place, right? What if a lot of these picks is like neighbors, Odunze, and some other random guy, right? Some rando, but they're not there when that time comes. So that all that scratched. So you go to Plan B, if not Plan C. So you take the
Yeah,
best and put it
which
on
is what he
top,
does. I think
right?
he
So
does
you
that.
you you have to pretty much make sure what's going on in that aspect. You have a backup, and then you got B, C, D, E, F, G, all the way to Z or A1, B1, what have you. Um, I think that's a great idea.
Yeah,
So
but it's
with
hard
draft
to
days,
select those things now.
well,
So
no, I mean, think about it. If it comes to draft day, you're like, okay, well,
I have a
this
plan
team
A,
chose
B, D,
that
C,
guy,
D, and all this stuff.
right?
And then what happens now with all your plans go out the window because let's say all first four picks, say the Cardinals trade down, they trade with the Vikings, and then let's say that the Chargers trade with the Raiders, and it turns out that 5 of the first 6 picks selected are quarterbacks,
Okay,
which then leaves you, say Marvin Harrison's the only other one, right? So that's 6. We're at 9. 7 and 8 are only ones in front of us. So what do you know? That one of those guys is going to be available. So Joe Alt is going to be available. It's possible that Roma Dunze, Joe Alt, and Jared Verse or
neighbors.
whatever you want Any
Oh
of those
yeah.
guys can all be available. Then you've had a plan A, B, and C, but is it really what you really want?
You're right. I mean, the more options you have, the better choice you choose. Now, at this point, when you say, okay, well, we have receiver and a tackle left. It's our turn. The next up, we know that team's going to pick a defensive end or safety, whatever. Okay, let's start thinking now, right? Should we trade down? I'm sure that you're going to have people calling already for number 9. Should we go ahead and select this guy? Okay, who's left on the free agency? You think we could trade for a player from this team? Or should we go ahead and select this guy? You know what I'm saying? So I'm sure they're not gonna wait to last second to make the
Yeah,
decision.
I
I'm
don't
sure
think I
their
think he's
their
gonna have a
choice is gonna
game plan. And I agree with you. I think
right,
he's gonna have a game plan. But the idea of this is more we're gonna debate what's the best direction for our football team to go in.
right. I
And
mean,
I
typical
think at the
Bears,
end of the day, I worry about he should make his own decision. And as long as he can take this information and file it away and realize it doesn't matter what everyone else is saying, I'm gonna make my own decision. I'm gonna tell the people what I'm gonna do. I think then we're fine. Then all the information is good information because he knows the buck stops with him. If
right?
he worries about relying on all your people giving you information, that could be a problem. And I'm not saying this is actually going to happen because I think Ryan Post has done a great job. I think what we did with Darnell last year was excellent, and he knew what
Right.
he was going to do. He knew what he wanted to do. Could have got a 3 technique, but he said no. The right tackle, he's the best, but the player, he's better for me for this team. I think that works out. I'm not saying that that's what's going to happen with Ryan. I just worry that there's too many voices, too many cooks in the kitchen. As long as he's the head cook, I'm fine with it. If it turns out he's not the head cook, or he's listening to someone else that's shaping his entire viewpoint, that might be a problem.
Well, I mean, think about it. If you have all 20, 30 people saying pick a Dunze over Neighbors or Alt over a Dunze or whatever, if everybody says one thing and Ralph Pose knows for a fact go this route instead of their route, Ralph Pose is going to choose that route.
Yeah, sure,
You know,
but
his route because
he's splitting his own team up. So he's there's going to be 10 going this way, so we get 10 going this way, and 10 going in front. So he has to make the educated decision. He has to be the one at the last to make the decision. And as long as he makes the decision, and Ryan Poles we trust, I'm okay. You've done the job. I think you've done a good job identifying some positions, and he's done a good job of making these contracts work. So I will be down with whatever he decides. Personally, if there's still a quarterback on the board, I'm trading down. If I could trade down to 12 or 14 and pick up a number 50 or 60 pick, a late second rounder, early third rounder, I would do it in a heartbeat.
Mhm.
But it depends on who's there. Because if Roma Dunze is there, I'm not passing that up. No
Right.
matter what trade I have in motion. If Roma Dunze is there, I'm getting it. If Joe Alt is not the 5th pick and somehow he falls to 9, I'm getting him.
Yeah.
Unless it's Roma Dunze. Like there's ways where for Shanu, I'll pass and go away, go down and pick up another more talent. So I mean, those are good questions. But how do you decide any of that? The only way I
Well,
know is to look
right.
at your roster and kind of decide what the hell's going on
Right.
and what do you need.
Which leads back to maybe who they want. So maybe they could trade, maybe not. So honestly, the Bears' old time Bears fashion is they get the best person available.
The best available is a lot of times when people say, but what if the best available is a quarterback? What if the best available is something you don't need? You don't
Well,
get that.
trade the 9 for the 10,
Well,
or
I
trade
would
the
go
9
down to
to 11.
12,
Yeah, or
13.
12,
Denver's
and
a
get it
good option.
right.
Dallas could be an
Exactly.
option. I mean, there's a lot of people that we could do. So last week we did a mock draft, and
I
we
missed
actually
it. I
traded the
saw
9th
it.
pick to Dallas and picked up a second and a 4th.
Yeah, I
So
heard.
that was awesome.
I heard some of the options. I think it was Denver. Like started giving you a bunch. Was it Denver or Washington? Like
Yeah,
wanted to
crap.
give you a bunch of picks. No, it
Oh,
wasn't crap. It was
Washington.
pretty.
It was Washington. That one, they're not going to do it. Caleb is going to be the first pick. Doesn't matter.
Right. Yeah, he's gonna first pick for what team though, right? So
For the
that's
Bears.
the real question.
Chicago Bears are going to be the first pick of Caleb Williams. There's no doubt they're not doing all this stuff and not having Caleb Williams be the number one pick. No matter what anyone else is saying, no matter what the internet's saying, no matter what people hate, no matter what color his phone is, no matter where he want to point his fingernails, he's gonna be the first pick.
But would you pull that trade though?
Would
In
I?
Washington, yeah,
I would have
with
done it
you.
in a heartbeat.
Right.
but
Right.
I'm a Justin Fields guy.
Yeah.
I'm not totally sold on Caleb Williams. But at this point, it doesn't matter. At this point, I believe that what I think no longer matters because it's no longer there. It's no longer a possibility.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
But
well.
there we go. So breaking down this roster right now, we're gonna start at the top and we're gonna work our way down. I'm not gonna stay on any position too long because you should know answers. All right. Left wide receiver, we have DJ Moore. So we have a number one, right?
Right.
Our number two there is Colin Johnson. Do you know who Colin Johnson is?
Rings a bell. I see he came from San Francisco.
Yep, he did. It's someone we picked up. And then
Right.
Dante Pettis is the third string.
Didn't we have Pettis before? No, was that
Pettis has
Pringle?
been on the team. He's been on the team.
Okay.
Yeah. He's more kick returner. He's that kind of guy. Okay, so right wide receiver, we have Tyler Scott and Velus Jones Jr. By far, of all the wide receivers, this is the weakest of them.
Well, then again, Velus Jones or Tyler Scott. Just before you say no, those
No,
two
it's
guys.
DJ Moore and Keenan Allen.
Once again,
this is gotta be the weakest one, right?
Shh, just let me talk. Before anything, I think Tyler Scott or Velus Jones is going to have a breakout year with a kick return, with the new kick return rules. Them two or Roshan Johnson, because those two guys are fast, right? And so is Johnson. Johnson more of a third down back now, not a third down back, a third string back, which he's going to show his potential and returns, unless they get somebody from the draft or unrestricted free agent, undrafted free agent. I think Tyler Scott or Velus Jones is going to have their moment to come because those two guys are fast as hell. Especially Velus Jones. They benched Velus Jones last year, or was it last year or 2 years ago? Because he almost won the game for the Bears. Because he was doing really good in the kickoff, and they like, okay, you're doing too good, sit down.
That is not why in any way, shape, or form. And my question to you is, what does that have to do with being the right wide receiver?
Absolutely garbage.
This is what so the only thing I said was this is by far the worst of the wide receiver groups because it's Tyler Scott and Velus Jones Jr.
So
compared to DJ Moore or Keenan Allen.
Right. So who would be number 3?
So this is the right wide receiver. Tyler Scott or Velus Jones. This is why they're trying to upgrade wide receiver for our third wide receiver here. Now, I believe Tyler Scott is a good fourth receiver. I also believe Velus Jones could be usable, especially in special teams. But as coming on the field and you're starting with them, that's a mistake. And I think that's not good. And you gotta be careful because even Webster might take Velus Jones' spot because Velus Jones can't catch. That's the issue. That's why he got benched, because he can't catch punts. He's cost multiple games in the last 2 years, just by catching the ball with his face, or catching the ball off his chest, or catching the ball, fumbling in it. When he has the ball in his hand, he's a good playmaker. He's always been a good playmaker. He has to catch first, but he should have jug machine at home. Just be practicing. There's more fair catches. And as you said, which I thought was a very good point, kickoff has changed. This rule change means you have to have someone who's able to dodge and really get up the field with this kickoff return because they're trying to force you to make this play. Now, especially if the defense cannot run down there and take the ball out of your hands, maybe you can put someone who's not as sure-handed back there and give him an opportunity. But if he loses the ball one time, there's a lot of people on this team that could do it. Tyler Scott back there. You said Roshan Johnson, but I don't believe that's the answer because I think Roshan Johnson is not a returner. But Travis Homer is a great returner.
Homer, I forgot about that guy.
Homer is a great returner. I mean, those are options too. So, all right, keeping it going quick. We got our inside wide receiver. We got Keenan Allen, who we just got from the LA Chargers. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Did you hear about the story about Mike Williams and the Bears?
That's actually a really good question. I like Mike Williams, but my worry is that he's always injury prone. Some people just are, wound up real tight. And what's up, Derpy?
Fleecing out. That's fine. That's funny.
Khan can no longer call Ryan Poles. We've already made it sure. Call AT&T. They're not letting it come through anymore. Every time he calls, it's going doo doo doo. Sorry, phone call cannot be completed as dialed.
Right.
We're not letting that happen anymore.
Yeah. This is talk about the other Ryan Pace guy. What was I saying? Yeah, apparently Bears reached out to Mike Williams. You couldn't talk to him because I guess he was in Paris.
So that was before the trade. But Mike Williams would have won the same amount of money. Mike Williams is much younger than Keenan Allen, which would have been a long-term thing. I'll be interested to see if Keenan Allen signs an extension. If we get him for 2 years, then I think it's worth it. Especially only giving up a 4th rounder.
Yeah.
Because he's a better possession receiver when you have a DJ Moore, who is a deep threat, who is a better overall number 1 receiver, I think. Having DJ Moore with Keenan Allen, just with a rookie quarterback, I think it's great. I think that could really help out the Bears a lot. But I think you need to get younger, which is why everyone's talking about in the draft, looking at Rome Odunze.
Right.
All right. Yeah, left tackle. We got Braxton Jones and Larry Borom. Well, first off, if Larry Borom's the answer, probably don't understand the question. All right.
If Larry Borom's the answer, for sure we need to go for Joel. For sure we got to go tackle for the number 9.
But we got Braxton Jones, who is, I believe Braxton Jones is a starting tackle in this league. I don't think he'd ever be an elite tackle in this league. And I think that's the thing you worry about. Not having a stalwart at that left tackle just to go with your franchise quarterback. If you're going to make him that guy, you might need a left tackle. And and it's possible that Poles is working with Braxton Jones and he believes in him. But all the reports are saying that, he's treating him like he was treating Justin Fields. Saying, hey, we like you, but this might not be for you long term.
Unless he improves.
Which he's done every year.
Right.
I can't disagree with you. Left guard. So we got Tevin Jenkins, we got Matt Pryor and Jerome Carver. That's some guys. Tevin Jenkins is the guy as long as he stays healthy. That's just what it is.
I don't like that.
Oh, he's going to be, because you can't put him at right guard because Nate Davis only plays right guard. So you can't put Tevin Jenkins at right guard. So Tevin Jenkins has to play left guard.
Yeah.
Here's my worry. We spent that pick on the 5th round pick on Ryan Bates. Who has never started, who's always a backup in Buffalo. We also got Coleman Shelton from the Rams. And of course, Doug Kramer, one of my favorites, called ILL from Illinois. I like him. I like him, but I don't believe that either of these guys are great centers. I know they must love Ryan Bates to continue to try to get him. They must love him. Try to sign him to offer sheet before. they traded a 5th-round pick when he was probably going to get cut. so they
Right.
must love him for some reason. I don't see it.
Right.
I don't see the dog in him. I don't see this monster. And if I could get a pick and trade up in the 2nd round and grab Jackson Smith, Jackson Power Johnson, I'm getting him.
So
Jackson Power Johnson is a monster. He's a monster.
So what if Ryan Bates is a good enough, or I don't say great or good, decent enough center? You just never had that opportunity to center. So
That
maybe
opportunity in
Ryan Poe
Buffalo.
sees something in him that, like, okay, this guy can be the guy.
I mean, you know what? And he being an offensive lineman in the NFL, seeing how it works, knowing how what it takes to have the intelligence to take, I can't say no. I can't say there's no way that he could do that. My question is Ryan Bates that dude? Because what happens when you have a great center? Your quarterback's confidence goes through the roof because you don't have to worry about where the ball's being placed. You don't have to worry about pressure coming up the middle. All your protections are being called correctly. So, I mean, I always saw Ryan Bates as more of a depth piece, but it looks like the Bears really like him at center. And I mean, we'll give it a try. But the Bears
Right.
really liked what they had the defensive end at the beginning of last year, and that was crap. They really liked what they had at center last year, and that was boo boo. So, like, I don't know. They've literally have done these things before, and they failed miserably at it.
Right.
You guys, you don't believe me? CC Lucas Patrick.
Oh no.
They
I don't wanna,
they literally paid him and brought him in from Green Bay, and he was a backup center. They said, "Oh, he's ready to be a starter." Did you see starter?
no. We all saw. Well, what do you say? Crap or boo boo?
It was
Which
boo boo.
worse?
That's
Crap.
what it was terrible.
What's worse? Crap or boo boo? You tell me. Like that we
I
could.
don't. Well, it's worse. Lucas Patrick. That's what's worse.
It's crap, boo boo, and Lucas
Lucas
Patrick.
Patrick, exactly. And then right under that, Cody Whitehair at center.
Poor
Hey,
Whitehair.
man, Cody Whitehair was a great leader, and I liked him at guard when he could move, but he just couldn't play anymore. That's just what
Yeah.
it was.
Well, let's just hope the offensive line coach could teach him, or get an actual veteran center who could, he could
Give
work
me a
with.
star. Give me a star, young guy. I want it.
No.
All right, we got right guard Nate Davis, Jatire Carter, and Bill Murray. Not that Bill Murray, but
Yeah, no.
from San Francisco. Someone else we picked up in this offseason.
Well, Nate Davis, he's usually the starter.
Yeah,
right?
he's definitely in the starter. Yeah, it's no
Yeah, which really stinks because I really like Jenkins there at right guard.
Yeah, but they're
And
not going to. Once they signed Nate Davis, which I still don't know why they did and paid him all that money, he was going to be at right guard. That's just what it is.
Oh well.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you because I love Darnell Wright, who's our starting right tackle, with Tevin Jenkins. The power, the running ability behind those two guys,
Yeah.
second to none.
You mean the center? I forget who was the center, Patrick or Whitehair?
It
You
didn't
made
matter.
him look
It's
good.
awful. Yeah, no, they did a good job so that he could just get in someone's way.
Right.
Trip him. So,
Right.
I'm falling down, just out of the hole, and then they can rush you up. Jake Curon, who's an unrestricted guy. Avion Collins from Dallas, another guy that he picked up this offseason. If they can always upgrade their tackle position, but right now it looks good. I'm okay with what they do.
It does.
Now, another position that really looks good is tight end. We have now Cole Kmet, Gerald Everett, and Steven Carlson.
That's sick.
Dude, you have two starters. That's what you have. I hate Gerald Everett for fantasy purposes, but because he's screwed me so many times. But he's a good tight end.
Well, yeah.
And a tight end is what? Your quarterback's best friend.
Oh yeah, yeah. Especially with Komet there.
Exactly. Exactly.
especially with Komet. Yeah,
Commander
I
and
think
Everett could both be passive catching. But I want to hear what you think about this. Do you think they got Gerald Everett because they're going to run more two tight end offense and not going to run three wideouts?
yes,
So
because
then we don't need
the
that
offensive
wide receiver.
was that
Then we don't need that wide receiver.
no, no. I mean, I would like to have another one, but there's going to be too many, not showboating guys, but there's going to be too many people. Hey, how come I'm not getting the ball? Then next, we're going to have a bunch of Ocho Cinco's out there on the field, and we don't want that. You
Yeah, but
know,
if you're a rookie and you have DJ Moore and Keenan Allen in front of him, you can't say crap.
no, right? If you're a rookie, but
Yeah,
if
that's
Keenan Allen's not getting his numbers, or DJ Moore is not getting his numbers, I don't know if anybody's going to talk any smack. So, I believe they did bring him in because it's going to be more back to run base offense. Because isn't the offensive coordinator from Seattle?
hmm
Weren't they the ones running a little bit more than passing?
No, they're 50-50.
Right.
But what they did
Co- Compared
is
to compared to a bunch of passes that we were accustomed to last year or the year prior because of Getsy and his screens.
so they were 50-50, but even when they were running 50-50, they were using 2 and 3 tight end setups. So sets. So like they had extra tight ends, so they used them. So he can use 2 tight ends, and I agree that that's something they're probably looking at.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I think Komet's numbers might go down some, uh, due to Everett and due to the run game. You know,
I mean,
unless there's a
you gotta
skinny
remember
post.
also that our run game wasn't that bad, but Justin Fields was part of the run game.
Right.
So I don't think they're going to have more yards than they had last year. It's just going to be placed differently. And then if Caleb Williams does throw the ball well, which I worry about still, it opens up everything.
Hmm.
It really does. So, all right, quarterback QB1.
Pass.
I couldn't even say it. QB1, Tyson Bagent and Brett Ripien. Yes, that's what we
Pass.
need. That's a quarterback room I'll be proud of. Like, if it is Caleb Williams, he's going to learn from those guys so much. How to be professional, how to do how to tie his shoes. That's about it. Probably how to tie his shoes. That's where I leave it.
Bagent's gonna probably show him like this is
His
how
locker.
you.
He's gonna show him
Yeah,
his locker.
yeah,
That's it.
exactly. While Caleb's gonna show Bagent how to manicure,
Hey,
how to get
he could do
French
that.
French tips or whatever.
Hey, I ain't hate. Whatever. Get what you get. As long as you throw touchdowns. You throw 4,000 yards, you can, man, I'll paint my nails. You said throw 4,000 yards. It'll be clear though. It'll still be clear. It's just me. Hey, you can be you. Let me be me. All right.
I hear a spike bet coming soon.
Hey, he throws 4,000 yards. That ain't a spike bet. That's a me doing it. Yeah. No
That's
question.
awesome.
But I won't pay for that paint because I'm not spending $1 on the Bears. I'm still on strike. That's just what it is. For a year, you ain't spending money. I already lied about that because I bought a jersey the other day. I bought DJ Moore jersey. I forgot all about the bet when I bought the jersey. I was like, oh, damn it.
Oh, there you go. So does that mean you want to go to Canton?
Caden, for the Hall of Fame
Hall of Fame
game.
game? Yeah.
Look, I can't. I'm not buying the tickets, but I might send someone else money just to give them. And if they choose to buy the ticket, that's fine. I won't put my name on the line for nothing. No. But just saying. You know how I am about money. It's just a tool.
I got you.
All right. So we went through that. We have now at running back DeAndre Swift, Khalil Herbert, Roshan Johnson, and Travis Homer. Dude, I like it. But I do believe, don't be surprised if on draft day Khalil Herbert gets traded.
Oh, I won't be surprised. I just
Or
wish we would have kept Freeman or Deontay Foreman.
Deontay Foreman. Yeah.
I because he had so much potential. Yes, he had little issues, I guess.
And he's older.
right. But he like when you gave him the ball, he kicked ass when you give him the ball.
It's true.
He
He-
he
He's an old
piled,
school runner.
yeah, and that's something that the Thomas Jones and was it Cedric Benson kind of duo I would like to see.
So I don't think you're going to see that anymore because the problem with Foreman was he can't catch the damn ball.
Hmm.
Like I'm sure he never had cold like because he couldn't catch a cold. He could run the hell out of it, but he can't catch for nothing. But I believe him as a running back, but in this NFL now, especially with a young quarterback, you're probably gonna have to be able to catch the ball out of the backfield because you're gonna be his safety. You know, every time you're going out there, it's the tight end and running back has to be able to catch the ball. That's why I think DeAndre Swift is a good pickup. I think Roshan being on the team is still a great pickup, and I believe Khalil Herbert probably doesn't either not make the team or I think they trade him for a 5th or 6th round pick. I can see that.
He might go to Dallas, I believe.
Dallas needs him.
Yeah.
And Khalil Herbert, I think, is going to be a good running back. I like Khalil Herbert a lot. I just the way that this team has been doing stuff, they don't really care what you've done since they're talking about what you're gonna do in the future.
Right.
So
Right.
that's why I believe that. All right, so that's
So
our offense. We went through the whole offense. Now defense. All right, left defensive end, Montez Sweat. We're good.
yes.
It doesn't matter.
Yes.
Jacob Martin can back him up. That's whatever. That's fine. Daniel Hardy from the San Francisco can back him up. But we're good. Left defensive end, yes. Nose tackle, Andrew Billings. Now, Andrew Billings and Zach Pickens played very well together
Yes,
last
he
year.
did.
So I can't say I don't like that, man. I don't think you need to upgrade your nose tackle. You got the big dude and you got the young dude.
No, you really don't because Billings' name was mentioned a lot,
Oh my
a
God.
lot last year.
He was
I don't
stuff
know.
in everything.
Right. I don't know what was his stats, but shit, that dude was killing it.
I think at nose tackle you don't get noticed as much, but he did a great job at stuffing the middle of the line. So you weren't running up the middle on the Bears, and that is also another thing that kept when we had got Montez Sweat and the defense's numbers went up.
Yeah.
Him putting pressure, doing this stuff, and the same thing with Zach Pickens with his pass rush ability worked really well. I'm excited to see what Zach Pickens can do this year, along with our defensive tackle, the starter, Jervon Dexter. I love that. I do worry. I want to give him the whole year to show me he can do it. If he can't, you got to upgrade the position because 3 technique really matters a lot in this defense.
Yeah.
But I think Jervon Dexter played his butt off on a lot of times and showed a decent motor too. What do you think
Yeah.
about that?
Yeah. I agree with the motor aspect of it. The only thing is, man, I think so. I understand we're going to 3-4, right?
No, we're staying 4-3.
Oh, we're staying in 4-3.
Because then you wouldn't really have a defense. You have 2 ends. You have your nose 2 ends, and then you have your linebackers, outside linebackers.
Oh, I didn't see the RDE. Okay. But yeah, Dexter and Billings, or was it Dexter and Pickens? Well, regardless, no matter what happens at the front two, those two, the front four, those two guys are great. They take up a lot of mass. They're really big dudes, big
Oh, Billings
fast.
is, yeah. Billings is, yeah.
Yeah, the big fast dudes as well. So, which is like a double-edged sword, man. You double team, and if you're slippery, I believe Billings is he's the slippery one.
No, Billings is a really big dude. He could take double teams on really well. Zach Pickens is a little bit lighter in the butt, but he's good at pass rushing. He has really good moves. He's always had good moves, but the question was, does he have the motor? I'm still not sold on his motor, but I'm glad that we have the young guy there. Javon Dexter is a playmaker. He really is. I just don't know if he's good enough to carry a defense yet, but it's something that we're going to see. I don't know.
Yeah, because let's just say Javon switches with Billings, they stunt around him,
Mhm.
and Javon, if Dexter stunts with Sweat sometimes, I don't see that happening a lot, but if they do, that's going to be one side of the line people are going to be watching out for. If they end up stunning, like if Sweat cuts in and Dexter goes around, or if Dexter just swings out and Sweat comes around.
Yeah,
just to
you can
stun.
do it a lot either way. With the 3 technique, you put them on the left side, and next thing you know, Javon goes to do the spin, and you basically your tackle goes out to the outside, plays the leverage to the outside, plays keep things in, and you let Montez come in. Yeah, I mean that works.
Yeah, Sweat's fast too, so
He's
he could
fast,
go in.
strong, and big. Yeah, he's
Right,
all of it.
he could be there very, very quickly.
Here's my question: right defensive end, DeMarcus Walker, which I liked out of Tennessee. I really did like him last year. I thought it was a good pickup, but I felt like he's a depth piece to go with Dominique Robinson, who's more of a pass rusher, and Kareem is also a pass rusher.
Right.
But I don't know if any of those guys are starter quality right defensive ends.
I agree. That's part of this discussion where they're going to see if they can pick another end, right? So that's the other piece, the missing piece. So last year, what did we have last year? We had somebody.
Ngakwe.
Thank you. Yes.
Yannick.
And I don't want him to say okay. Because what, you end up having 2-3 sacks?
Yeah, he got hurt, and he was a disappointment overall.
Right. So I mean, everybody was happy to get him, but he didn't fit the formula that we're looking for, which is really important to people. Yeah, you could get the best guy out there. For example, you go get Young. Young. You and a few other people wanted Sweat.
Yeah.
And this is the reason why. Because if Young would have showed up here, none of this would have worked.
He would have been signing the next contract in his little neck brace like he was with the Saints.
Right. Exactly. So, yeah, it's very important. So, once again, if we'll see what they say with the groups, with the tackle, defensive end, and wide receiver. See what happens in draft day, man.
Yes, and you see the defensive end. Then as you look out, you go, okay, you got TJ Edwards, who was a tackling machine, great. You got Tremaine Edmonds, middle linebacker, great, with Noel Sewell backing him up. Even Michael Baskerville backing up TJ Edwards is another good pick.
Yeah.
Jack Sanborn being there as a strong side linebacker.
Yeah.
I like him, but I know that they could upgrade Jack Sanborn depending on what's going on. I would love Noel Sewell to learn how to play strong side linebacker, but right now you can't make the tackles too effectively.
Right. I think I like Sanborn a lot. He's a blue collar guy. He works hard. The only reason Sanborn's the only reason why we got rid of who's the guy we traded to the Ravens? I can't remember his name.
Roquan Smith, the All Pro,
yes,
the best linebacker in the game.
Yes. I mean, I believe that's the reason because we traded him. Immediately, Sanborn became number one because Sanborn was the backup.
But he's not a star. Like
I'm not
lost.
I'm not saying that Sanborn is a star. I'm just saying Sanborn is a good enough piece where you could pay a lot less, but get the same almost quality performance from him. Because Sanborn numbers skyrocket ever since Smith was gone.
Not last year.
No.
So because honestly, TJ Edwards had an amazing year. His amount of tackles were just off the charts. He was like he was top 10. Then you have Tremaine Edmonds, who was the middle linebacker that the Bears said, I don't need Roquan Smith. I'm gonna let him replace Roquan Smith. And he actually got injured and he wasn't as impactful as you thought he was gonna be. Roquan is an all pro, not Pro Bowler. All pro. That means Roquan Smith is the best linebacker at his position in the NFL.
Right.
And you paying Tremaine Edmonds about $2 million different than you could have paid Roquan. And you could have had him play middle linebacker like he's playing right now. It had nothing to do with Sanborn. Sanborn can still play strong side linebacker. It doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
There's only a $2 million difference. And that's why I do believe that's a mistake on Ryan Post, but I understand why he did it. Because at the end of the day, he got TJ Edwards and Tremaine Edmonds, even though Tremaine Edmonds is not Roquan Smith and not even close to Roquan Smith, But TJ Edwards is a really good will side linebacker.
Would he be able to sign Smith and Jalen Johnson?
Yes, it's $2 million difference to what they're doing now, and they're still what $40 million under the cap. So yes,
I don't know about that, Pulse. I don't know.
just when you compare it's not. It's probably one of those things that you don't know the future, so you have to make a decision and stay with it. So he had a number. This is what his number is from what you've done. The problem is we didn't know that he was going to become what I guess everyone did know. He's going to become the best middle linebacker in the game, and that's what he is. He's the best linebacker in the game.
Yeah,
And he's on a winning team, and it works for him.
yeah.
All right, we got left cornerback. We got Jalen Johnson and Terrell Smith, which I like both of those guys. Jalen Johnson is a stud, unbelievable. Number one, that's who he is. And Terrell Smith, what Larry was battling Tyreek Stevenson all last year. Who's going to start the right cornerback? So they're not just good at the first guy, the backup's good. I like that.
Yeah, I like that a lot too. You got depth. You got depth, which is great because that's a position that people get hurt sometimes or get burnt, or the confidence gets shattered because an all-pro burns the hell out of you 2 plays in a row. Because your confidence do get shot a little bit.
It could be, but that's why they're so arrogant because they, that way they don't have to worry about their confidence. They stay very arrogant with it. I look at Jalen Johnson, and I think he's always been trending because after you didn't like him, Al Temple saying, "No, he's going to be a good guy," and
I admit I didn't like him from year 1, year 2, year 3, okay, 4, and 5. I'm like, okay,
yeah, he's this is year 5
He's
now. This will be his year 5.
Bro, I remember I called him toast the first year.
Yeah, I know. I was like, dude, he's not toast. He's
and then until he proves me,
French toast. He's mwah. You're not going to be able to get a lot of passes on this guy. This guy is really great feet, great footwork, great hips. He's had to learn to catch, but if he could catch that well, he might as well play wide receiver. So you know why he's doing that defensive back. So
Yeah,
it is what it is.
yeah.
So strong safety. We got Jaquan Brisker and Jonathan Owens.
I love Brisker, man. I hope he sign him for long term.
I think so. I
really
think
love this guy.
Yeah, but once again, this is his 3rd year, so we have another year of him.
Yeah,
I'm worried about paying him. Jonathan Owens, unrestricted free agent for Green Bay. You know who he is? Mr. Simone Biles.
Oh yeah, I heard he's a prick, and rightfully so because he came from Green Bay. So
I think women don't like him because he wasn't all over Simone Biles. They met them each other. But I think I don't know the guy, so I'm okay with finding out, I guess.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
We got 2 other guys that are going to be more depth pieces, Quindell Johnson and Douglas Coleman. That's true. And then free safety, we have Kevin Byard. Now, I believe this is a huge upgrade. He's a Pro Bowl guy from Philly. I love this guy. I love doing this. I think Eddie Jackson is going to be missed, but mostly about his leadership. That everyone looked up to him.
Yeah.
I think Kevin Byard, as of right now, is a better player.
Yep, that's what we need is players who play the spot, play the position. Because if that wasn't the case, guess who will be here still? Not in Pittsburgh.
You're right.
Yeah, I mean you're right though. I mean he will be missed. However, let's hope and pray that this guy can fill in the shoes. He has pretty good shoes to fill, not on the field, but more in the locker room. So let's hope he earns that C in his chest.
I think that you're going to see that with Jalen Johnson. I think he's going to be your starting guy. But Elijah Hicks is a very good free safety too. I like it as a backup. I think that works really well. And then, of course, right cornerback was Tyreek Stevenson, who has all the tools to be unbelievable, but we don't know what it's going to be yet.
Right. Can't wait for the Smith and Stevenson show. See what happens.
No, Stevenson is going to start no matter what now. I think he's earned his keep.
Right. But guess who's going to
But
be knocking right behind him, though?
I think he comes in sometimes. I don't think he comes on the field as much as we think he would. But I think 4 wide receivers, we're set. We're good.
Yeah.
You got 4 wideouts. We're good. We're set. We have everyone what we need because we have Kyler Gordon also there at nickel, who is a dog. Gordon had a tough rookie year, and ever since then, he's been a dog.
Yeah.
Kyler Gordon and Jaquan Brisker, good picks by polls.
Very good. And he got them in 5th round, was it? 5th and 6th round?
Third. I think it's 2nd to 3rd for Jaquan and then Kyler. Right. Back to back. Yeah. Thanks. And then Greg Stroman bringing up the rear for the nickelbacks. So we just kind of went through the entire roster, which is interesting. There's not a lot of places where you need rookies, right? We said wide receiver, really, right?
Right.
Possibly center, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tackle, possibly.
Yep. 3.
Defensive end, possibly.
Right. No. Not possibly. We do
definitely
need defensive end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Because we want Walker or Robinson?
DeMarcus Walker will be the one that's going to start, but I don't think he's a star. I think he's a depth guy. And if you have another defensive end, even if he's older or even older or younger, he'll be able to play into the role because you have guys that can play the position.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you had to trade down and you drafted Jared Verse at 14, I think that works perfectly.
Right.
So
right. Because then you have your extra pick, maybe later in that draft.
You might get 2 extra picks. You might get a 2nd and a 4th.
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, a 2nd and a 6th maybe.
But start filling up these spots.
But we only counted 4, and technically, how many draft picks do we have?
4.
4.
Yeah.
So there's no need. We don't have to trade any of these picks. We don't.
Right.
If Roma Dunze is there, if Caleb is there, 1, well, he's going to be there. And Roma Dunze at 9, and the 9th pick on the 3rd round, we get one of the center from Iowa or Ohio State or Purdue or something like that. Something like that. That might work. And then the 4th round, the 9th pick overall, 122, I think it is overall. You find a rush defensive end that's more of a project, and you like him. You still have $40 million. You can stay pat and then go spend some money.
Right. So a lot of these guys we see now probably not going to be on the starting roster. Probably be in the practice squad, and that's going to be difficult because then you're going to have the best of the best. The cream of the crop is going to be in the starting, but yet you're going to have the best of the best guys still fighting for position. So we're going to not see everybody on this list. What? 2 months from now, when OTAs open up?
I think everyone here will. I think, because you're going to have 95 guys going to camp with you. So most of these guys are going to be there. I think people that you might not see will be Travis Homer, Khalil Herbert might not be there, possibly. Doug Kramer, hopefully they hold on to him for another year. See what he turns into. I mean, because I love him. I love him at Illinois. So I mean, he works and works and works. But he's just never going to be a star.
Not in this system.
Yeah, just what it is with him. He's a little bit light, but he moves well. But he had neck injuries. He's always had injuries, so he's interesting. Probably 2 of the safeties are probably not going to be there, but then also we're going to add about 20 unrestricted free agents. So guys that are trying to make that team.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's a lot more room. There might not be a position that we need to make better, but doesn't mean that we might get lucky with the diamonds in the rough. And that's why you always need to be watching tape, watching film. That's why when you said you need 30 guys, when Poles talks to these 30 guys, that's why you need 30 guys. That's what makes you right about the whole thing, and not me about playing the devil's advocate. At the end of the day, you need all these people because you don't have all the eyes to be able to check every rookie that's coming or every freshman. I mean, every senior that's coming out of the draft into the draft. You don't have it. You can't. And there might be guys that they're looking at, a D2 guy who might be special. You know, D1, double A, whatever how they call it. That's special that you don't see from a smaller school.
What was
Happens
that
all the
one?
time.
What was that one guy who was projected to be going the third round? Ray Davis. He's a running back from University of Kansas or Kentucky.
Kentucky. Okay.
Yeah. That's my underdog.
He's
A running back. He wears
I'm
number
not
1.
sure if he gets drafted. So I looked him up. He's around projected maybe a 6 to 7 round running back. He's probably the 13th running back off the board. And usually 13th running back means you're drafted high. You're drafted in the top 5 rounds. Because of this year, I think the running back is just not as high. I think the first running back comes off the board the middle of the second round. There will be no running back that comes in the first round. None at all.
Unless
and that pushes everyone down a little bit.
Unless Dallas sees something.
Even
What does
then,
Dallas need?
There's no one that's worth a first round draft pick this year. So speaking of running backs, because we actually do position breakdowns. So me and Martin and Mark went through the top 6 running backs basically, and we've been releasing the videos. So you can check it out on YouTube. Just type in their name, our video comes right up. Right now Jonathan Brooks from out Texas is the number 1 guy. Jalen Wright, Tennessee, right there. Blake Corum is the 3rd guy, right next to Trey Benson. But both Blake Corum and Trey Benson are late 3rd rounders. That's the 3rd and 4th guy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Late 3rd rounders. Bucky Irvin, I think he goes in the 5th round. I think Marshawn Lloyd might go to 5th round. Audric Estime from Notre Dame, I think he might go late 5th. Braden Allen, I believe, goes in the third round, even though they have him ranked 8th. I think he goes in the 3rd round because I think he has a lot of upside. He has a force. He's just a badass. So I think that'll be interesting. Will Shipley is right there. So I think he goes late 4th, maybe 5th. And then your guy.
Ray Davis.
Yeah, then Ray Davis.
Yeah.
The thing why I liked about Ray Davis, why I because you said it, told me to look at him. What I really liked about him is there's nothing about him that's great, but there's nothing about him that's missing.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
He's just you get him and you just put him in the game. Yeah, I think he'd be fine. I think he's going. I said maybe late 5th, early 6th round pick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did not follow him. I heard a story about him, and I kind of did little digging. And he has what I like to call that little itch, that little fire, that little something to have something to prove. And that's the type of player I would like on my team because no matter what, he's gonna go hard. If he's going up a hard guy, yeah, he's a fast little shifty guy, but he's someone that no matter what happens, he's gonna try his best, no matter what the odds are against him. And that's the guy I want. I want all that heart, all that guts in him that he's willing to put 100% on the field, walk away happy knowing he put 110% on that field. And that's the kind of guy I would like. And that's the kind of guy that I want on my team. And this is why he came up through a rough upbringing, and that right there just wants me to root for him. They have the little underdog and whatever. He's my little underdog guy. So that's a guy that I like the most out of this draft. That's why I put it up. Hey, what about this guy? See, what have you? But yeah,
I guess me playing football heard a lot of great stories about people that have done amazing things that been really dealt a really crappy hand, and it just turned out to be great guys. I know I had played with this guy who went from foster home to foster home to foster home because his parents died. Both his parents died. Then his grandmother died, and he was just left with him and his sister. So he ended up moving with his aunt. His aunt wasn't able to take care of him because it was in the middle of the ghetto, and she really didn't care about him. He had to go to another place. He ended up going to a foster home that ended up getting him into college. And he did okay, but Chuck had something happen to him. So there's just a lot of guys that have those stories, those sad stories,
Right.
those tough upbringings, and yeah, you hear it a lot, and you always want the
Yeah.
best for them. But there's a lot of them that they're like that. But what is very consistent about that is that person usually knows how to fight. Usually knows, I'll give my all.
Yes.
So I appreciate you bringing him in, and yeah, as I said, all you can do is hope that he gets picked up early. I would get picked up. I don't know if it's gonna be early, but it'll definitely be. I'm guessing he's a day 3-er. I'm maybe he's gets in the late, early 5th round. Maybe I think he's a between 5th and 6th round pick, no matter what. And then it's on him because once you're on the team, the sky's the limit. It's up to you.
Yeah. Damn, I just there you go.
There we go. There we go.
There you go. Oh, there you go.
All right.
Once again, this is
What?
why I'm Red Panda.
That is fun. Guys, so that's kind of what we broke down our roster, talked
Yeah.
about what our needs, looking into the draft, what we're going to do. What I really want to do is next week do another mock draft because we looked into what we need now. So now we know things that possibly could happen. We also know that Minnesota's on the verge of trying to trade up into the top 3 with New
Yeah.
England. You also know that Denver's looking for a quarterback. You know that the Raiders are looking for a quarterback. We have a lot of guys that are looking for these things. So how does that affect our draft board again? So I want to do another mock draft, and honestly, I wanted to vote on it. Who to pick after Caleb Williams is done? We'll let you guys decide who we pick, and you tell me what we do, and we'll go with it. And
That's next
we'll
week?
save it, and we'll talk about right after the draft how close we were. That's my ability, my chance of trying to be Brian Poles.
Yeah.
You guys tell me what to do, and that's what I do.
Yes. I mean, yeah, that's amazing. Because I wanted to be next week, last week, but I just couldn't.
Hey, we
But-
all here trying to get this stuff done. I'm in the middle of moving. That's why you see these blank walls. I'm trying to move, but we're
I'm
going
trying
to
to-
keep it going, man. We love this show. We love talking about the Bears. It's
Yeah.
fun.
It is a lot of fun.
And we still hold the keys to the draft. Everything comes through us. So, don't be surprised if we get another decent haul from pick 9. Ryan Poles does his some magic, pulls a rabbit out of the hat, and we get multiple guys that we want.
Yeah,
So,
that's crazy. Yeah, I mean, depending on what's at 9, it just say hypothetically 2 good receivers and a defensive end at 9.
Take the receiver.
Right. You wouldn't want to trade down a couple spots.
Now, if it's two
Knowing
of
there's
them,
2. Yeah.
if it's neighbors and Roma Dunze, it's one of them I like more.
Yeah, I don't know. Because you'll be able to get a defensive end or a receiver if you trade down a couple spots to get extra picks, and then you could get the defensive end. So there's no right or wrong answer right now. Because no matter what, it's going to be like you can take the guy or go down a couple spots, maybe 3 spots, and get a boatload of picks for that.
Yeah, but if your guy's not there, it's not worth it. But if your guy is there, then it is worth it. Or if your guy's already gone, who cares?
Right. It's yeah. Who
Guy's
cares?
already gone. Trade this pick, whatever. You get the quarterback you want. But I guarantee you this: we'll never trade with Minnesota to let them get their quarterback. Never.
Oh.
Never happened.
Them or Green Bay. Yeah.
F Green Bay. Told you. be on fire right next to me, I wouldn't piss on them to put it out. But that's as I digress. Oh man, thank you guys for being here with us today. This was a fun breakdown. I know we're going to do some other stuff. I had one thing planned, but we're going to end up pushing it back another 2 weeks. I'm not going to tell Fredo what it is either. So it's going to be a fun thing. It's going to be a cool thing.
I thought we were cool, man. I thought we were cool.
We'll all find out in 2 weeks. But once again, thank you guys. Thank you guys for watching us. And we will be back here on Wednesday on Dynasty Pylon. That'll be me, Mark, and Martin. Last time Martin will be here because he has to go off and do his soldier thing for the rest of the month of April. Then on Sunday, we'll be here in the morning spike, maintaining that, talking about all football things, football on all teams. And then next Tuesday, we'll be back here, 9 o'clock Central, talking about the Bears, talking about all the news that came out, including if the Bears are going to build in Arlington Heights or in the city of Chicago, and why they can't own anything on the lakefront, as we've already talked about. Or we'll remind you guys again.
Yeah. I thought we covered that already.
Yeah, new people. We always talk about it. All right, thank you, Montgomery Ward. Thank you, guys, and we'll see you later.
We the Bears, monsters of the Midway, knocking teams out every Sunday. Fire in our eyes, can't stop our drive. Hit so hard, remind you of 85. We the Bears, monsters of the Midway, knocking teams out every Sunday. Fire in our eyes, can't stop our drive. Hit so